With over 25 years in the event business, I've met some incredible individuals, been part of many life-changing moments, and come across some really crazy situations. Join us on our Wild Stories podcast as we chat with professional athletes, amateur athletes, staff, volunteers, coaches, top media professionals, celebrities that have raced, inspirational athletes, and more. Mac and Kurt share about what it feels like as they both return to Wildflower after more than a decade away from the event. Kirk previously raced with the Stanford team as a collegiate swimmer, and Mac's last Wildflower was when he had gotten married and just started a family. Kirk sat in the Happier Camper podcast, wearing his commemorative Jesse Thomas aviator sunglasses, of course, remembering how Wildflower really is part of RŌKA's DNA. They share about how they sat with Mark Allen that morning. He called Wildflower the Coachella for triathlon, whereas previous generations may say Wildflower was the Woodstock of Triathlon. All the same. It's mutually understood that as you stand around Wildflower this weekend, you remember why you fell in love with the community and the culture, and that the time away may have left their minds, but it's so real sitting among everyone this weekend. In this episode, they share about how we need to make sure that the sport of triathlon is still fun, how Wildflower does that. Coming to Wildflower lets you see how special this community is, people supporting one another from the first to cross the finish line, all the way to being there for the ones who are last. You'll see everything from the first-timers to the collegiate athletes really throwing down throughout the weekend. It's just as fun to cheer on the athletes as it is to soak in the festival. But then you may even be inspired to sign up for the 5K or the 10K on Saturday night running through the campgrounds. Join us now as you hear all about their experiences and what they took away from the weekend.
All right, we're here at the 2025 Wildflower event. I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves. I'm more behind the scenes, so introduce yourselves. Tell us who you are, how you're participating, and Wildflower is back, baby.
Wildflower is back, baby. It's been a great weekend. I'm a little bit hoarse from cheering and yelling. I'm Kurt Spenser. I'm one of the co-founders at RŌKA.
Yeah, and I'm Mac Brown. I am a vice president of partnerships for RŌKA. And yeah, as Kurt mentioned, we're so excited to be back here. It's been a little minute.
Yeah. Very excited to be back. It's been a great weekend.
Yeah, so Wildflower has been in hiatus for 7 years. I'm guessing you guys were here before and back.
Yeah, I like to say that I did my first Wildflower back in the 1900s. I got recruited here when we were swimming at Stanford by some of the triathletes, a guy named Dave Mayer, who went on to found Clean Bottle. You may have seen him running up mountains at the Tour de France in his Clean Bottle back in the day, but he thought that it would be a smart idea to bring a bunch of the swimmers out here with him to compete and score some points. It was a really good idea for the swim, and then as soon as we started climbing that bike ride, it became a very bad idea. But absolutely, fell in love with the pain and the race, and mostly the community and the culture, and just this incredible place. There's just people talk about vibes a lot these days. I think as far as triathlon goes, Wildflower invented the vibes.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think my last time I was here was 2000, I believe, either 15 or 16, did the mountain bike sprint race. My wife at the time and I just had our first son, and we pitched a tent up at the upper campground, and I was sleeping literally on cardboard in a two-man tent. We woke up and had a great time on the mountain bike, and it was just great. And like Kurt mentioned, it's just the atmosphere and vibe of everyone here, and everyone we've talked to this weekend has been so appreciative it's back. And I know Kylie and her team have put a lot of work and effort and energy. We understand how that goes and appreciate it, and we really hope it grows quite a bit.
Yeah, and I'm wearing my commemorative Jesse Thomas RŌKA Phantom Aviators. The idea and concept was born here at Wildflower. Jesse, love you, man. Can't wait to see you back out here someday soon. 6-time winner of the Wildflower, incredible dude and athlete. And so, yeah, I mean, RŌKA for us on the RŌKA Multisport side here, focused on triathlon, swim, bike, run. This race is in our DNA. It's deep in there. I think without this race and the stories and the community and the racing that happened here and just some of the moments along the way, RŌKA we wouldn't be doing what we're doing today. So, it's really incredible for us to be out here, be able to support and try to, help support the team and the community and bring this race back. So, yeah, really, it's an honor to be here.
There's a lot of OGs and a lot of new people here, new participants. What would you say to the OGs that are coming back, and what do you say to the new people that are showing up?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the atmosphere is here, and again, I think one of the biggest inhibitors was the water levels, and the lake is great. We've gotten in a couple times. We actually, as a RŌKA family, did the open water swim the other day, which was awesome. None of us swim much these days, but
well, speak for yourself.
Well, yeah.
Some of the guys are swimming quite a bit.
I stand corrected. One of the guys we did swim with actually won the open water swim. He was a former University of Texas swimmer, and he's getting ready for trials here in a couple years. But I'm the only non-Stanford swimmer on the team, so I was suckered into doing it. But as I got out of the water, I was very happy I did it. So it was great. But yeah, speaking to the people who used to race here, I mean, it's so great to have this back on the race calendar, and I really feel it's going to grow. Everyone that's been racing here, everyone we've talked to, has been super appreciative and having a great time, and they'll go back and tell their friends and family, and I feel like as years to come, it's going to grow, and it's going to be great. I mean, I'd say Wildflower's back. We just need to get more people out here.
Yeah, I think for community, family, a lot of the people like myself and the real OGs who raced here, like I said, back in the 1900s. I mean, what an incredible race. We have people out here whose kids are racing for the first time with them, mothers, sons, fathers, daughters out here competing together and just sharing that experience. It's a generational race and experience out here. And I think the other thing that's incredible is that there's something here for everyone. If you want to really challenge yourself, the long distance race on Saturday is a super, super honest, challenging race. It is great. And there's so much support as you run through from, the collegiate kids and the campers. There's nothing like it. And it's a really, really tough, fun day. But if you want to pop in for the open water swim like we did yesterday, I mean, absolutely perfect chance to just get out there, get on some open water, compete if you want to. The sprint off-road race yesterday was super fun. Dan Upfield, founder of Slow Twitch and Quintana Roo wetsuits back in the day, was out there racing. It was awesome to just chat it up with Dan. We saw Mark Allen out here supporting with the TriDot team. Mark called this the Coachella of triathlon, and I think that's 100% on. And then the Olympic distance and sprint distance race today, again, challenging race, super fun. There's nothing else like it that I've done on the race course. So there's something for everybody. 5K, 10K trail runs. Everybody can hop in, enjoy it, be a part of that. You don't have to be out here competing for a super fast finish time to really, really, really enjoy this race and what it's all about. So just encourage everybody to come out, bring the family, make a weekend of it, and just be a part of it, soak it in.
Yeah.
So this event to me feels like a torch is being passed with the OGs coming back and the new people showing up. What's something that stands out for you that you want to make sure gets passed along?
I would say, Kurt and I were just talking about this on the way up here. Is let's make sure the sport's still fun. We have a new wave coming in. We need to make sure that we get the youngsters, the youth involved. We're on a corporate side through RŌKA. We're really focusing on that. We want to grow the sport at the youth grassroots level, and that's what Wildflower is. And again, Colleen's done a great job of doing that. And I think as a triathlon community and family, we need to keep doing that. As the sport grows, let's grow it in the right way. You don't have to have the most expensive gear. It's, you know, just get in here, have fun. You know, the triathlon community is so welcoming. You know, so many great people in this sport, and it really does. I mean, triathlon's been a big part of my life, and I work at RŌKA because of the sport. So, you know, I feel like I'm very fortunate just to find this sport, to kind of cultivate who I am as a person. I think this race embodies that. You know, it's everyone we've been around has been super friendly.
Yeah, and I think part of our mission internally right now is to champion, you know, swimming, biking, running, healthy habits, you know, nutrition, facing challenge, and finding community. And I think if we can, you know, raise a new generation who embrace that and understand how special that is, understand, you know, their bodies and what taking on a challenge can do, you know, how that can organize their life in a better way, and how they can find people that are really supportive of that. I think it's gonna send us in the right direction. And so, you know, we're doing everything we can to try to champion that with, you know, USA Triathlon, with grassroots racing, you know, and I think Wildflower is the pinnacle of grassroots racing. You know, it really can be a beacon for that. And you see that with the collegiate kids out here today. It's just like, it's really inspiring. It takes me back, brings a lot of nostalgia. You know, I think being on a team, you know, and being out here with community, triathlon can feel like an individual pursuit or sport, but what's really special about this race, and I think introducing people to the sport through this race, is you see how special the community is. You know, people supporting each other, you know, cheering from the first to the last finisher, you know, and just all ages, you know, all shapes, sizes, challenges out here. You know, saw Mohamed Lana, incredible Paralympian out here, just crushing it. You know, saw Jonathan Pasquale, who's, you know, fighting cancer out here, just had an incredible race today. And then you see these first timers and these kids, these collegians who are just throwing down, you know, competing for their school and for pride, and just all of that together is really special. Just come out and do it. If you don't want to do it, come out and just cheer and hang out, camp. You know, have some beverages of choice and relax, and, you know, cheer on those folks that are doing it, and see if, you know, maybe pop into a 5K or a trail run, whatever it is. Sign up on the spot, come do it. Just be here, soak it up.
Yeah. So we're at the tail end of this event. What do you guys? What did you guys take out of this now that you're back? What's something new, or it feels new now that you're back?
I mean, I think what's new for me is, you know, I feel, like Max said, this is just fun again. You know, I feel at ease. I feel the urge to get out there and do it. The open water swim yesterday was incredible. And so I think there's just a new spark for me to get out here and do this for fun again. You know, just participate, just be a part of it, show up. You know, the starting line is the hardest part. You know, it doesn't feel that when you get to the top of the hill, but honestly, you know, I used to have that issue, and I think all swimmers do. You know, you stand on the edge of the pool deck not wanting to jump in, and you know, I think that's the thing here. All these people, you know, it takes a lot of courage to step out and toe the line, but once you get going, I have never ever regretted doing a triathlon. You know, once I got going. So, you know, just bringing the fun back in the sport.
Yeah, and I'd agree. I think the word I'd use would be inspired. I mean, the guys, or the RŌKA team, kind of made me swim through the open water yesterday, and it was funny. I was nervous about it, but then I got out of the water, and, you know, I think my internal mantra is, once a triathlete, always a triathlete. And as soon as I got out, I was like, oh, actually wasn't as bad as I thought. If I could start training again, and then that internal clock starts getting going, and I'm like, all right, I've definitely been inspired to come back here next year, and already talking about the different races I'm going to do next year. So, you know, I think we're just happy to be back, and, you know, it's just such a great environment, and, you know, rest assured we'll be back next year bigger and better, and, you know, there'll be a lot more people out here, and it's just it's great, and it's just, I can't emphasize enough how much it is, or how excited we are to be back and be a part of kind of this growing again.
So as we wrap things up, where can people find you? Who do you want to plug in and give a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to my mom who is watching my boys this weekend. Sally, Spenser, Baba. My wife went to a bat mitzvah for her best friend's daughter, and I'm here with the team, so that's my big shout out. But RŌKA Multisport.com, fastest wetsuits on the planet, the best triathlon race day gear and training gear. A lot of really, really exciting things coming. Best athletes in the world are choosing our stuff for a reason, and I think we work with the elites, but our gear is designed to make this sport better, to make the experience better, to make it more accessible for everyone. So wherever you're at, if you're a first timer, or you're competing for a world championship, we are designing with the athlete and the experience in mind, getting you from onto the start line, but to the finish line. So we're here to help.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.